some work you would have done, who would want to initiate what they have written, they can come here and just read it out or just tell what you have done. From there, we'll take it up. Who would want to present first? One of you from here or come over? There is nothing like a right idea or wrong idea or perfect thing, nothing like that. Everyone will have to go through this. It's only to share the experience of going through this that works. So come over, come. Introduce yourself. Yeah.
My name. My name is Sudhir Naresh of class 11A. I am studying in Sudarsana Vidyasam School.
Yeah. Now, what did you do with? Did you have thought about? Did you think about a world of story or some moral statement? Could you work on that?
Yes, sir. I worked on sports monopolism.
Sports monopolism is what he did. Great. So, if what is the moral? So that's the world that that's the topic or the subject or the context that you want to deal with. Sports monopolism. And in that case, what is your statement? What do you want to state somewhere? What is the theme that you want to deal with?
The Olympic medalists were not properly recognized. They were just unidentified by the society.
So he wants to make it as a theme. So the sports talents are not recognized or Olympic sports talents. So generally speaking, the thematic conditioning could be you can do it later, but at the same time he wants to say that well, Olympic candidates are not respected well as they deserve. This is what it is. And what's the emotion you want to deal? What is the predominant emotion? The way you want to platter it together?
Sadness.
Sadness. Now, I want to generally for everyone, I'm saying, thank you very much. And did you find a protagonist or a central character here? Could you find that character?
Yes, sir.
Oh, what is that? Who is that? Who is that?
Arjun Verma, a wrestling Olympic winner.
Arjun.
Gold medal.
So he wants to emulate, or the character is a replication or a mirror of somebody like that.
Yes.
This is where it starts. Now, could you write it on a free writing model?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
How many pages did you write?
I wrote roughly a page.
One page. Can you read it? I'll keep the mic for you. Yeah. Hear what he has written. It's an excellent thing that he's produced. Yeah, please.
Title Shadow. Genre Sports drama and social commentary. Theme Cricket is obsessed by India. Many forgotten Olympic gold medalists does not get proper recognition. Summary. A film starts with the protagonist Arjun Verma, a former Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, who returns to his home after winning a gold medal. Not even a media and public came. He was ignored because of the presence of Indian cricket team in the airport. He went unrecognized, and this led to disbelief of about the medal which he won. He was in a poverty and depression because he was not recognized, and he
didn't have money after that. Okay, fine.
Nobody sponsored him for his.
Yeah, he was struggling to live.
And then parallel to this story, there was a woman, Miss Fatima. She would record stories about the Olympic winners and the various sports persons who were not recognized, and she would telecast in the channel like news.
Great. So this is where it starts. I'm not saying that we need a complete story, but he has put in his efforts. Congratulations. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Good. Thank you very much. See, I just appreciate the young guy here, young gentleman here, to produce this kind of a thing. This is exactly what the seed of this exercise of developing a story into is. Somebody from there, please. Can you just stand up, one of you? Please. We don't have much time, so please don't waste time. Come.
Let your idea be heard by everybody.
It is not, don't be afraid of any criticism. It is not a question to be criticized here. What you worked is what matters. Everyone will have something like this, please. Yeah. What's your name? Malarvili. Okay, please.
Unemployment, about unemployment, sir.
About unemployment. So basically, the context she has worked or a topic she has taken is unemployment. What is your emotion that you work?
Struggling for seeking jobs, sir. Like after they complete a degree, they are struggling for jobs, sir.
Now, what I mean is, in what emotion you have made this to be told?
Like family pressure, mental pressure.
No, whether it is joy or
Anger, sir.
anger. So these are the two basic things. She wants to speak about unemployment, and she wants to speak something with anger as a predominant emotion. This is all that's required. And could you write something? Whatever you could read, I'll hold it. Just read it. Don't worry about.
I did not prepare anything, sir. Just I had a thought now.
All right. Then what do you want to say?
Shall I tell in Tamil, sir?
Yeah, please.
Like 3 years நம்ம காலேஜ்ல படிக்கிறோம், ஃபீஸ் பே பண்ணி 3 years பே பண்ணி படிக்கிறோம். ஆஃப்டர் 3 years நம்ம ஜாப் சீக் பண்ணணும் வீட்ல நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்காங்க. பட் ஜாப் நமக்கு கிடைக்கணும் வந்து லைக் நம்ம ஜாப் போனவங்க ஃபிக்ஸ் ஆகி இருக்காங்க. பட் நம்ம போகாம நம்ம எவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்படுறோம்னு அந்த பேரண்ட்ஸ் தெரியாது.
That's okay. Fine. See, this is not the complete story. This is only a beginning that we are requiring. You did it really well. Congratulations. Great. Anyone from, you have written, doctor, you have written something? Please come. I'll give you the mic. Yeah, after this, yes. We'll just go a little faster so that.
Support team is fate, sir.
Fate. Okay.
Yeah, army person. He came for a vacation in his home. He returned to vacation. There is in that village. He came to his village. In that village, there is a grandma. That grandma is that grandma is blessing everyone regularly. So while he want to return back, immediately he has to return back to office military base camp because of there is unwanted sudden fight.
Okay.
War started in between neighbor countries. So he want to go back to. So he take one vada from his that grandma.
Okay.
So that vada is our typical thing is that every day she will make 100 vadas. One vada she is always blessed by life longevity like that it will be there. So he took that vada particularly. Fortunately he took that vada. So he went to that battlefield, and that day he was not able to enter into the field actually, but he was stayed in the hospital. That hospital broken with fire. So that all the patients, wounded soldiers are asked to be escaped from there. So he helped everyone. Finally, one day, after next day, he went to the battlefield. He died, but he escaped by that only one day because of that.
Vada. Great. So here, this is a complete story more or less. But at the same time, what is the emotion that you want to deal with in this story? Is it laughter? Is it fear, anger, surprise, or sadness? What is that you want to highlight here as a predominant emotion?
Predominant emotion is actually sadness.
Sadness. Now, I want to ask you all guys, one answer me. Suppose if a story is the predominant emotion is sadness, I am asking him to change from sadness to joy, will it be the same story? Now we have told a story, he has told a story about the vada, the playing a trick in a life. Now it is a sadness, it is a predominantly sadness. Suppose if we shift it to anger, will it be the same story? It won't be the same story. It will deviate. So this moral statement, the emotion that you are dealing with, or the topic is the same, context is the same, but with emotion, the story is likely to change. This is one point I want to evolve through what he said. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, come. Introduce yourself and then, yeah. You can stand here, come. Yeah.
Good morning, I am Jessica from Tech University. In this story, I wrote about.
Now, first you say, what is the context?
Okay, the context is family bonding.
The family bonding is the general topic. What is the predominant emotion that you have worked?
It is a mix of sadness, love, and anger.
But what is the predominant emotion? When you say mix, see, why I am saying this is, when you say it is a mix of sadness, love, and anger, you are not focused. Our whole aim in coming to a particular emotion is to focus on a direction and get the story moving. I'm not saying the whole story is required. So you should arrive at what is the predominant emotion so that those emotions will overlap the other emotion. It doesn't mean that there is no other kind of emotion. So among the other emotion, otherwise you call it a comedy or a tragedy. Why do we call that? Because it's the predominant emotion will surface out. That will give you more focus. Okay.
Okay, in predominant emotion is actually sadness, the secondary is suffering, and tertiary is hurt.
Very good. Okay, great.
Okay. After picking up his son from school while driving home, a teacher and his son is driving home and they get into an accident and the teacher loses his son and becomes depressed. And not being able to handle the tragedy, his wife gets so depressed and divorces him.
Okay.
Okay. After that, the teacher is not able to cope very well, and but he doesn't want to give up either. So he just continues his job as a teacher in school, and he meets a student. The student is very troubled student. He does not get good grades, and the teacher sees the student as his own son, and he tries to help him, but the student doesn't want to accept help from him because of his ego, and the teacher somehow finds that he is being emotionally neglected at home.
Very good.
And that the parents are abusing him. Like they are putting all the responsibility of his younger sibling to him.
Great. So I think you have worked almost a wonderful story.
Because I've been thinking about this for the past 3 months.
That's okay. Fair enough. But try to attach what is the predominant emotion. Try to find who is your protagonist and where is the context.
The protagonist is the teacher.
Teacher. So you also have found where does the story happen? What is the context? Where does the story generally happen? You have found a world of the story. In all these, he has found a world of the story as a township or a village. That is the world of the story. And there is also a world of character which is a depressed character. From after having won an Olympic medal, and he is now depressed because he doesn't get the deserved respect. Here, the teacher is depressed because he lost his son, and he wants to compensate what the loss was. And this happens in a small township in a school. Am I right? So that actually is the world. So basically, in this exercise, what we are trying to gather are just two things: the world of the story and probably a protagonist. One character and a world of the story. Thank you very much. Thanks. Wonderful. Any more from there? I think from the rear end you were talking a lot yesterday. I wanted you to come up and tell your story. Would you initiate? Please come, one of you. You have? Come. Tamil, please. Introduce yourself and tell.
College,
Very good.
என்னோட ஸ்டோரி வந்து எஜுகேஷன் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஒரு 10 வயது சிறுவன்.
அல்ல முதல்ல what is the topic? Education, huh? Education, that topic. Then where does it happen? Emotional. எங்க இது நடக்குது? இந்த ஸ்டோரி உள்ள வேர்ல்ட் ஆஃப் ஸ்டோரி என்ன கான்டெக்ஸ்ட்?
ஒரு ரோட்ல மார்னிங்.
ஒரு ரோட்ல மார்னிங். அது ஒரு டவுன்ஷிப்பா, ஒரு வில்லேஜா? City. So roughly the identity of the world is a city, probably a road. Am I right? Okay. Who is your protagonist? Who is the central character? Hero. Teenage? Or old boy. I mean teenage boy. Teenage. അതാണ് that is the character. இதோட எமோஷன் என்ன, ப்ரிடாமினன்ட் முக்கியமான விகாரம், எமோஷன் என்ன தமிழ்ல சொல்றது கரெக்ட்? உணர்ச்சி தானா? உணர்ச்சி என்ன? அல்ல, சேட்னஸா, லாஃப்டர், எமோஷன், அது என்ன? Sadness. So these are the basic things in this story. Now you tell the story, that premise.
மார்னிங் நான் சென்னை இருக்கேன். மார்னிங் ஸ்கூல் டைம், ஸ்கூல் பஸ்லாம் போகுது, ஸ்கூல் ஸ்டூடெண்ட் எல்லாம் போகிறாங்க. அந்த ரோடே பிஸியாக இருக்குது. அப்போ ஒரு பையன் கூலி பையன் எடுத்து அந்த ரோட்டோரமாக வரான். முன்னாடி ஸ்டேஷனரி ஷாப். அவன் ஸ்கூலுக்கு போகிறவங்கள பார்க்கலாம், பார்த்துட்டு ஒரு மாதிரி ஃபீல் பண்ணுறான். அவன் அனாதை பையன். அவன் இருக்கும்போது அந்த புக் கடையில் தமிழ் புக்ஸ்லாம் இருக்குது. அதில் ஒரு புக்கை பார்த்துட்டு அவன் புக்கில் இருக்க படமே அவனை பார்த்துட்டு, அந்த படத்தை பார்த்துட்டு அவன் எனக்கு அந்த புக்கு படிக்கணும் அப்படின்னு ஆசைப்படுறான். அந்த புக்கை பார்த்துட்டு அவன் சிரிக்கிறான். சிரிக்கும் போது அந்த கடைக்காரர் வந்து அவன் தலையில் அடித்து, போ அங்கே 2 பாட்டில் இருப்பாரு, அதை பிணைக்கிட்டு போ, அதை எடுத்துகிட்டு போ அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாரு. இது திஸ் ஒன் லைன் ஸ்டோரி சார்.
Right. You have worked about this. Generally, please understand, we are not looking for a complete story. அதெல்லாம் முக்கியம். இதுல நமக்கு ஒரு வேர்ல்டு கிடைச்சாச்சு, ஒரு கேரக்டர் கிடைச்சாச்சு. அதுல இருந்து நம்ம எப்படி போனோம்னு நம்ம அது பார்த்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் we'll work it out.
This story, big story. Next week
Okay. You are going to shoot that story. Okay. சரி.
அந்த புக் படிக்கணும். அந்த புக் படிக்கணும்.
கொஞ்சம் ஸ்பீட்ல கம்பாக்டா. ஓகே.
அந்த புக் படிக்கணும்னு ஆசைப்படுறான். அவன் கிடைக்கல. அவர் வந்து குழந்தை வச்சு அந்த பாட்டில் 2 பாட்டில் இருக்கு, அவர் பிழைக்கிட்டு போ அப்படின்றாரு. அவன் அந்த குப்பை பழக்கால அதெல்லாம் போயிட்டு காயல் கடை, அந்த அவன் போடுற கடையில் போய் அங்கே போட்டு காசுலாம் வாங்கிடுவான். அப்புறம் இது முடிஞ்சவனே ஒரு பணக்கார வீடு. அவர் வந்து டிரைவர்கிட்ட சொல்லிட்டு எனக்கு 2 புக்கு வாங்கிட்டு வா படிக்க அப்படின்னோடனே அந்த டிரைவர் வந்து ஸ்டேஷனுக்கு வந்து புக்கு கேட்குறாரு. அவரும் அந்த பையன் பார்த்த புக்கவே எடுத்து கொடுக்குறாங்க. எடுத்து கொடுத்தோன்னே அவர்கிட்ட போய் கொடுத்தோன்னே, இது நான் ஏற்கனவே படிச்சுட்டேன், இது எனக்கு தேவையில்லை அப்படின்ட்டு இது அந்த புக்கை ஓரமாக போட்டாங்க. இது மாதிரி அவங்க வீட்டில் நியூஸ் பேப்பர் வந்து எல்லாமே பணக்கார வீட்டில் இருக்கு. அது இடைக்கு வரவங்க எடுத்து கொடுக்கும் போது இந்த புக்ஸு அந்த பேப்பர்ஸ்லாம் பணக்கார வீட்டில் இருக்குது. அது எல்லாமே அந்த பையன் போடுற காயங்கடைக்கு எல்லா புக்ஸும் போது அந்த பையன் கொடுக்க போகிறப்ப அந்த காயங்கடையில் அந்த புக்கை பார்க்குறான். புக்கை பார்த்துட்டு நீ எடுத்ததையும் கொஞ்சம் கொடுத்துட்டு கொஞ்சம் காசு கொடுத்து அந்த காயங்கடையிட்ட எனக்கு அந்த புக்கு வேணும் அப்படின்னு கேட்குறான். கேட்டு அந்த புக்கை வாங்கிட்டு
போகிறேன். Thank you very much. I think we will go into this another section of what we'll pursue with it. Starting. Could you find a story? Just fast.
A story, but just predominantly the emotion was try to pronounce it correctly. Aesthetics. Okay. Yeah. Mere,
Eccentric.
the projects real emotions.
Projects, yeah, yeah.
It's
Eccentric.
ecstasy.
Ecstasy, yeah.
Sorry.
Ecstasy.
Joy and ecstasy.
Ecstasy.
Story is based with like 5 to 10, 15 age, and the protagonist is an average working male. So the team, no, the time where postal service, Roman postal, the cavalry service was high, so letters, people were writing letters from like to countries to countries. So it was that time, and there is a protagonist, and the story shifts to a main protagonist, supreme protagonist after his name is Paul, and that's all.
That's all that. Great. See, one thing here is what is your predominant emotion? Ecstasy. And what is the context and the world, which is a 15 AD a Roman township or something like that, and the protagonist you know by the name. But these are the three things that you could find through this exercise, right? Are these the three things that you could find when you thought about the elements of, what we discussed yesterday, right? See, yesterday we discussed something. Are you clear? You got it from a blank mind, or already you had a story like this?
It was a mixed.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Thank you. Now, I just want to focus on a couple of things here. From the points that we discussed yesterday, this exercise is not expected to give you definition of a story, entire story. We can't afford to come up with that. That's not possible, literally. So what we gather is roughly or vaguely we have a world of story. And world of story is nothing but where is the protagonist? The context of the story. This is what we get. We don't expect anything more from there. We are actually proceed. We don't know the story. But we are trying to define the story and get the story towards the story. And then we'll go for the essential world. What is that essential world is what we will get. Or probably an essential character in that world. What was your name? Sujay. Sujay. In Sujay's story, it is a world, probably a village, which comprises of a guy who won a gold medal, but he doesn't deserve, or he hasn't acquired anything that he deserved, and he is in poverty. So you are getting a vague outline of this character in this world. That's where the story happens. From there, he made 2-3 lines about the story. The same thing is Doctor did. There is a world, there is a character, then he made some elements of the story. Maybe that's not the entire story. He has to revise it, rewrite it, and make it work more on that. But there are two essential things that he identified. One is the essential world and the essential character. This is all that we intend through this exercise. And the third is promising an essential conflict. Yesterday, I was telling you the story of I wanted to marry Rose and I married Rose. I'll repeat this in most of the cases so that you can compare it. So you were suggesting me, where is the story? So the story doesn't happen or evolve if you don't have an essential conflict between the world in which this character exists. And probably, I tell you, I'm just giving you an indicative, the world could be the promoter of this essential conflict. Whatever world you are trying to identify will be the essential promoter of the essential conflict. So this is roughly the pointers that we need to note from what you have done by yourself. And the next one is the world of character. When it comes to, again, coming back to the world of the character, the teacher's character, as my dear friend, what's your name? Jesse. So what Jesse suggested was a teacher who has a son who is caring for his son, and he loses his son. So the essential world in which he lives is a small township, and he works in a school there, and and suddenly he has lost all his ambitions, or he is in a totally depressed stage, and he wants to identify his son through his students, and finds one of the students. And the essential conflict is the student doesn't recognize him as a possible parent or a father. So there is a conflict. There is a difficulty that arises from there. So these are the things that she found through this vague writing and vague exercise. But the characters, actually, the character of this teacher grows out from a specific world which they understand. So what happened, for example, I'm telling you, why did the teacher got so depressed when he lost his son? Let us see. The teacher got suddenly, the father got suddenly depressed about this, and what was that bonding? So there is something behind the story. So most of the characters, or every one of you here, including me, we have a character individually. We all have individual characters. And these individual characters, do you know where does it come from? Where does it come from? You were mumbling something. Pardon? It's not genetics. I think the doctor will have to say something about it here. The character, of course, there are some contributions to it. I don't deny that. There are some genetic contributions to it. But inherited, of course. But more than that, it is not entirely what we have inherited. We react to conditions in a special way. And how do we react to it? On what grounds do we react to it? That is our character. And our approach to life is always guided by our baggages, our life experiences. Whatever we have gone through individually will decide the way in which I react to life. So this is what we need to understand with characters. When you build a character, we'll learn it later after this. It depends on when you are defining the personality of a character, this character would have had a world. We need to go deeper into that world. Or when you go to that, why he is so depressed having won a gold medal, there should be a character behind. How did he become? What did he do to win this? Or what was the process in which, or the life conditions in which he won this medal is important. That drives and molds the character. So we need to dig deeper into the character to know their personalities. That also will give you a story. In most of the movies that we see, we always see flashbacks. These flashbacks are nothing but flashbacks are prior to the story. Flashbacks are not in the story. Flashbacks are prior to the story. So these are actually revealing the persona, revealing the personality. So this is one thing. And the second thing that we need to understand is, so the world of character and the world of story are two different things. Do you understand? Are you clear? The world of story and the world of character are two different things. The world of character is the defining part of the character. Because he has a world, the character is defined. The world itself will have a definition. So the story happens with the collision of these two. This is actually the essential. What do you mean by essential conflict? So the second thing is, how does the world of story affect my character's world? So, for example, I'm telling you, in your world, there is this person who comes from war or on vacation, and he has a character why he went to be part of this war, and how does he meet with this lady who sells, the mother who sells vada. And one vada has some kind of a happiness beam somewhere attached to it. So when it comes to that stage, what is the character how is the character induced to go and buy this vada? Is there a reason for that? Or is it just like that? Or is it want to cover his own fears about certain things? And this lady who sells vada, or the mother who sells vada, is part of the world. So the character's world will have some kind of a collision with the world of story. And mostly the world will be antagonistic in most of the stories. The world of story will be, there is a lot of study behind it. We don't have time for that. I'm just running through that. But these two worlds collision is important for bringing difficulties. How does my character's world affect the world of story? The characters can be passive, the characters can be active. In both these conditions, the world will be reacting in a different way. When the character is active, the world will be very passive. So if the character wants to change the education system, that's the Dead Poet Society, the story is something like that. He's a teacher who wants to change the existing education system to betterment. And he's struggling hard on that. But the world is passive. The world doesn't want any change. So the difficulty exists. So these two worlds, when we define the character's world and the world of story, this collision is what makes the story engaging and create difficulties beyond our expectations. So this is the second point. And the third point is, how does these two worlds together affect the theme? When you are the mastermind, the writer actually creates this whole system so that we create a story for a purpose, and that purpose is to create this theme, communicated, transported to the audiences. So this is I would say, a very clearly manipulated, maneuvered process to bring out the story you want. The two worlds together affect the theme. I told you yesterday we talked about premise. The premise is a story in 2 lines. The ingredients of protagonist, antagonist, the world, the essential conflict is all combined, or the outcome of the story, all is combined in those 2 lines. And probably, I would say, your journey to create story is from this premise to theme. That's the journey you are going to make when you create story. It is as simple as that. So from this yesterday's exercise, we created just a premise. We also clearly know what is the theme. And from this premise, you start a journey. How do we start the journey? We learn. We start a journey towards the theme in the end. So this is what generally the story construct is, and in creating stories.